Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Teaching English on Dروس Super Goal 4. Before we start, we would like to welcome Mr. Fawaz Al-Aqil, the interpreter to the sign language. As always, we start our class by reviewing the plan or the objectives that we are planning to achieve at the end of the class. At the end of the class, inshallah, students will be able to reply politely to requests. Also, the students will be able to answer questions about a conversation. Then the students will be able also to perform a conversation about shopping habits. Now, as you know, we are still in Super Goal 4, the second part of this semester. We're studying Unit 2, and the title of Unit 2 is It's a Bargain. Okay? And in our class today, we're going to study two sections of this unit, that is section 6 and 7, conversation and about you. Before we start, let's make a quick revision on the previous lesson. You remember in the previous lesson we studied listening and pronunciation. In listening, we studied about information about an ad. Okay, when you want to make ad, you have to be careful about telling about specific things. What are these things? First, in this listening, we get the information about what time this store opens and what time it closes. So we knew from the conversation that opens at 10 o'clock and it closes 10 a.m. and it closes at 9 p.m. Also, we learned about the sweaters that having a discount. Also, we learned about discounts on raincoats, and we learned that it has 20% discount. Also, in the men's department, there was a clearance starting from on shirts, starting from $12. Also, in the women's section, we learned that in the women's shoes, there are some shoes that are the price of these shoes are $45, and there is an offer to buy one pair and get amount of percentage that is 50% of a second pair. Also, the scarves, you buy one and you get one free. In personal computers also, you remember that we studied that it has a discount 25%. In the perfume and makeup in the women's section also, there was a special gift with all purchases when you buy perfume and makeup. In the jewelry section, it's a free pair of earrings if you buy a pair of earrings with purchase of necklace and ring. Okay. Also, in the pronunciation section, if you still remember, we studied about certain sounds that are often linked between words. This means that they are pronounced together. Okay, and we listened to that if you still remember, and how we join the two words. Like, for example, when the word ends, as you notice here, it ends with a consonant sound that is z sound, and the other one starts with a vowel one. We combine them together and we read them like this. The hats are. You notice here, we put them together, so we pronounce them as one word. The hats are on sale. The other example here also, the shoes are too small. The shoes are too small. The third example here, the child is. That means we combine the two words together and we pronounce them like one word. The child is in the toy department. The last one, the belt is on sale. Okay, and now we move to our main class. That is a conversation section, which is going to be the main class of today. In this conversation, we're going to study about a survey. You know what a survey? When you want to get information about something, about how, the shopping habits that people do sometimes, you make a survey to check what is very popular and what is the common thing that most of the people do. So we're talking also about shopping habits and how to buy things and what you buy and these things. Also, you will learn about, in this conversation, you will learn about how to buy. Do you go to the supermarket or to the shop or to the store and buy things, or you order them online? Also, you will learn about some people talking about security in the internet. Is it secure to buy online or not? Also here we know that sometimes you don't have to pay cash money, but you can use a credit card or something like that to buy it. Also, what are the things that you buy? Like, is it expensive or is it cheap? And also how much money you spend. So all of these things we will learn from through a survey. So we're going to listen to a survey, and we are going to listen to a conversation about somebody else, somebody who is interviewing people to tell about their shopping habits, the things that they usually do when they shop, when they buy things. Okay? And now you need to go to page 14, look at the pictures there, and try to answer the following question here. Where are the people talking? Think, when you look at the picture there, where are the people talking? You can tell from the picture why. This will help you to understand more about the text that you are going to read, or the text that you are going to listen to. So it's clear that they are talking in a mall. In a mall. Okay, also answer this question. What is the man doing? You can see somebody who's holding a pen and writing something. What is he writing? He is asking questions for a survey about shopping habits. He asks some questions, and the two guys there are answering these questions. Okay, what kind of questions is he asking? That is what we are going to learn from this conversation. Now we will give you some time now to look at the picture, to gather as much information as you can, so that will make listening and reading easier. Because if you have prior information from pictures, visuals that you can see on the page, and also if you can tell about some of the words that you know, that will help you to predict or to guess the meaning of these words. Now let's listen to this conversation between the interviewer and the two guys about their shopping habits.
I'm from Teenage Express magazine. We're doing a survey of teenage shopping habits. Do you mind answering a few questions? Not at all. What do you want to know? Do you shop online? No, I never shop online. Why not? I don't trust the security features on the internet.
Okay, we will read now again to explain what the interviewer meant by asking some questions. First, the interviewer now is introducing himself to the interviewer, to the people that he is interviewing. I am from Teenager Express magazine. He's introducing himself, where he is working, and then he explains we are doing a survey of teenage shopping habits. So he's telling why he's going to ask them questions, because he is making a survey. As you can see the picture here, this is a survey to ask people to give information about their habits. Now look at the question here, which is written in the blue font. Do you mind answering a few questions? This is a very polite way of asking question. If you want to ask to get a request from somebody, or to get something from somebody, you can ask this question. This is a very good question, a very polite one. Do you mind answering a few questions? And Faisal answers, not at all. Not at all. What does this mean? That means he is not minding. That means he is agreeing to answer the questions. But also this is a polite way of answering the request. What do you want to know? Now he's asking him again, what kind of information that you are asking me to do? And the interviewer says, do you shop online? This is the first question that he will ask Faisal and other people. Do you shop online? That means, do you buy things online from your mobile phone or from a computer? The answer is no, I never shop online. Okay, so he is denying this, and he's telling that he has never shopped online. The interviewer asking, why not? Why you are not shopping? Now the answer here from Faisal, I don't trust the security features on the internet. Because when he pays through his, for example, credit card, he is not trusting that the money not to be lost through this payment. So he doesn't trust the security features on the internet. There is another part of this conversation that we're going to go in the next slide. Let's read them, and you will listen after we read them. The interviewer asks again, what about your friends? That means, do they shop online? Do they buy things online? Faisal answers, very few shop online or make payments via the computers. So he also telling that a few of his friends buy through online. The interviewer is asking again, and do you like to buy designer clothes? The designer clothes, the kind of clothes that are a little bit expensive. And he's answering, not really. That means not much. I don't buy these clothes. I like clothes that aren't so too expensive. That means he likes the cheap ones and that are comfortable. Also, the cheap one and the comfortable, that he feels relaxed when he wears these clothes. The interviewer asks again, and in general, what do you spend most of your money on? So this is a very important question also. Later on, you will be asked to make a survey, and this is a very important question which is included in your survey. In general, what are the things that you buy more? Do you spend your money on food? Do you spend your money on video games or other stuffs that you spend your money on? The answer says here, I spend my money mostly on food, so that he buys food a lot, video games and other things, electronic stuff. When we say stuff here, we give a general idea about things that are not mentioned in particular in this conversation. So now let's listen again to this conversation and try to guess the meaning from the context that we explained to you by yourself, okay?
What about your friends? Very few shop online or make payments via the computer. And do you like to buy designer clothes? Not really. I like clothes that aren't too expensive and that are comfortable. And in general, what do you spend most of your money on? I spend my money mostly on food, video games, and electronic stuff.
Okay, now we move to questions, comprehension question, to check your understanding to this conversation. The first one here, what is the interviewer doing in the mall? Okay, what is he doing? You can tell from the picture here. He is doing a survey. A set of questions that you ask to get particular information. So the answer is here. He's doing surveys for Teenage Express magazines. He's working in a magazine and he is answering, he is making a survey for this magazine. What does he want to know? Okay, what does he want to know? He wants to know teenage shopping habits, the things that the teenage usually do on their shopping. Okay, the things that they make it a habit, the things that they regularly do. Number 3, why doesn't Faisal shop online? He says he doesn't shop online. What is the reason behind that? Why he doesn't do that? Because he doesn't trust the security features on the internet. Okay, he doesn't pay through the internet because he is not trusting the features, the security features on the internet. Number 4, what does he spend his money on? Mostly, what are the things that he buys? He buys more. He told us that he buys or he spends his money on food, video games, and electronic stuff. Okay, now it's your turn to do a survey by yourself. This is a very good exercise or activity that you can do. Do similar survey about the shopping habits of your classmates. And the most thing here, important thing is, what do they spend their money on? Okay, that is a very good question. If you want to ask this question to a number of your classmates or anybody else, that is when you collect information, you will find out the very important information about the people's habit, the shopping habits that they usually do. Okay, this is a survey. Okay, and you can make a survey by chatting or by talking to somebody. And also the most important thing is, as we said, to ask what they spend their money on. Okay, because this reflects something important about their personality and their interests. Okay, the real talk, we had some expressions that we mentioned in the conversation a while ago. The first one here is, do you mind, plus the verb plus ing. This is a very important expression. you need to use mostly to ask for a favor or to ask for something you want to do. Okay, what does it mean when somebody says, do you mind giving me your pen? Do you mind, for example, carrying this with me? Do you mind helping me? This is a very good way of requesting something. Okay, what does it mean? It means a polite request. Request, you ask somebody to do you something or to help you doing something. We'll come to some examples in a while. Not at all. When you ask somebody, do you mind doing this or doing that, and he wants to tell that he's willing to do or she's willing to do this thing, the best answer is not at all. That means I don't mind. I am ready to help you or to do what you ask me to do. So not at all means a response to do you mind, to agree to the request. That means you agree, you don't mind to do this and that. Okay, not really. If you deny or if you refuse to do this thing that you have been asked, you can say not really, a polite way of answering no. It's not polite to say no. It's better to use other expressions. One of these expressions is not really. Not really is a good way to deny if you can't. But if you can, you are, I'm sure you are able to, you are willing to help and to do what you have been asked to do. Okay, stuff. You remember the word stuff when Faisal said what are the things that he spends his money on? We mean by stuff things in general. Okay, not particular things, but things in general. That's what we mean by stuff. Like what stuff? Like things, equipment, items, gadgets, services, devices, and etc. Okay, now about you also, the section here is having some questions about your shopping habits and the things that you regularly do. Do you shop online? We can answer. You can say yes, I do, or no, I don't. If you say yes or no, you can tell why. What is the reason you shop online, and what is the reason behind if you don't shop online. Okay. Also, you can use this to ask somebody else as a survey and to make a good conversation with him or with her. Okay, so this is, as we said here, shopping online. Number two, what do you buy online? What are the things that you most buy online? You don't go to the shop by yourself, but you buy online and you pay online sometimes. What are the things? That is also another question. Number three, do you like to go shopping? That means you go to the mall, for example, or to supermarket or a store to buy things by yourself, or you shop online. This is also another question. Number four, where do you usually shop? Now we're asking about a location, a place that you usually go to buy your stuff or your things. Okay, number five, what are popular places for shopping? In your city or in your country, tell about the places that are popular. Most of the people like to go there and buy their things. What are these popular places that you know in your city? Okay, number six here, what things do you spend your money on? What are the things that you pay more on? Do you pay it on food, on video games, or what? You can answer this question, and also you can ask this question to somebody who wants who you want to make a conversation with. Number seven, how much money do you spend each week? Okay, so every week you spend money for things. How much money do you spend your money on that? Also, this is a very good question to include in your survey, or also now to answer about yourself and to think about your shopping habits, because when you answer these questions, that will tell about your shopping habits. Okay, and the last question here, number eight, what is the most expensive thing you have ever bought? Now we're talking about the things that you bought before. In your life in general, what is the most expensive one? The most expensive one that you have ever bought. Okay, the thing that is very expensive, like this one is a diamond. For girls, usually they buy like this one, which is very small but very expensive. Okay, think of a thing that you have bought and it was very expensive and it was considered as the most expensive thing you have bought. Okay, and now also let's ask some question here. What is the interviewer question with do you mind? Okay, what did he ask? Do you mind answering a few questions? Okay, as I told you before, you will need to use this expression if you want to request something from somebody. Do you mind? And you put the verb with ing and you complete the request or the thing that you want somebody to give it to you. You can say help me directly, but this is considered as impolite. You can say instead of that, do you mind helping me? Do you mind helping me? That means you are requesting for a help, but in a polite way. Also, what is another way of saying this? Okay, you can say instead of that, you can say, can you help me? Could you help me? Would you mind helping me? Or would you help me? Also will answer a few questions. Also here, do you mind is more polite way of asking someone to do something. As we said, this expression, do you mind, is a very good way to ask or to request for something. Okay, what verb from do we use after mind? What is the verb that we use after mind? We use the verb with ing. Do you mind helping me? Do you mind lending me your money, your pen, for example? Do you mind giving me this and that? So this is the right way to use do you mind, and you put the verb plus the ing. Okay, you can try many verbs, many expression, many verbs to ask for or to request for something from somebody else, from your classmate or from a member of your family, and this will help you to learn how to use this expression. Okay, how does Faisal respond to the do you mind question? When the interviewer said, do you mind answering some questions? What was the reply of Faisal? Faisal said, not at all. Does this mean he refused to answer? No, at all. He is willing to answer. Not at all, that means not, I don't mind answering your questions, so I am willing to answer your questions. Okay, does this mean he is going to answer the question or he is not going to answer the question? As we said, that means he is willing and he is welcoming answer the question. He is going to answer them. Okay, if he didn't want to answer the questions, you could say, in case that you are refusing the request, you can say, I'd rather not. I'd rather not, I'm busy, and you give a reason why you don't want to do what you have been asked to do. Okay, yes, no are not appropriate responses to a polite request with do you mind. Whenever somebody asks you politely, you have to answer him or her politely. When somebody says, do you mind helping me? You don't say no, okay, or you don't say yes. If you want to accept, you say, do you mind? Not at all. Or if you want to refuse, you say like this one here, I'd rather not. Okay. Do you mind lending me your pen? This is another example of using do you mind expression. Do you mind holding my bag for me? You say not at all. That means you are willing to do that. Okay. Now we move to the last part of our class today, that is about vocabulary. Let's review some of them. These words appeared in the conversation, so let's ask you to try to remember them, to recall them. An examination of opinions made by asking people questions. This is the main thing that they were talking in the conversation. Like this one. What is it? It's written there also in the picture. It will help you to remember the word. It's a survey. We call it a survey. What is a survey? If you want to tell what a survey is, you can define it like this. An examination of opinions, what people think, made by asking people questions. How did it appear in this conversation? This is the text here. We are doing a survey of teenage shopping habits. This is what the interviewer introduced to Faisal. Another noun starting with H, something that you do often and regularly. What is the thing that you do often? What do you call it? That starts with H, like shopping, or the things that you do while shopping, we call it habit. That is a habit. Okay, we are doing a survey on teenage shopping habits. That these are the things that they regularly do. A noun starting with F, a typical quality or an important part of something. In this case, we mean by feature. When somebody says, I don't trust the internet features, saying I don't trust the security features on the internet, that means that is the reason why he doesn't pay online. A noun starting with D, expensive luxury clothing considered to be high quality. What is that? Designer clothes. These are the clothes that are considered very expensive. Okay, do you like to buy designer clothes? Okay, that is the question of the interviewer also. And we move to the last word of today. It's a verb starting with S. To give money as a payment for something. What is it? It is to spend. To spend means to give something, to give money as a payment for something. How much money do you spend each week? This is also one of the questions in the survey that the interviewer asked Faisal and his friend. And by this, we come to the end of our class today. Thank you for watching and see you inshallah in our next episode. Goodbye.